Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. This is Hira. And well, in this video, I wanted to talk about abusive relationships. So more like specifically abusive, like spousal or like mate type relationships. And yeah, I was just cleaning the house and it just came to me like, this is something I want to discuss. So basically, like, I had a really good friend in grad school, and we're still friends. She's not in my life right now, but like, I know we're still friends. And sometimes life is like a revolving door. Like, people come and people go, and then they come again. Like, the other day, a friend who I hadn't spoken to in about 10 years, she just messaged me out of the blue. It was such a pleasant surprise. So, and I was just thinking about her, and so she was in a really, like, her second marriage was an abusive relationship, like verbally abusive relationships. And I think even at times, maybe once it was actually physically abusive. She kind of hinted at it, so I'm really not sure, but for sure it was like a verbally abusive relationship and a very volatile relationship as a result of all the verbal abuse. So, and you know, it's interesting that once you go through something like that, it takes time to recover from it, and it takes time to go through, like, come to a place of peace with it. So, like, you know, she met this guy, and it's funny, irony of irony, I introduced them to each other. Like, crazy how that works out. I didn't know he was like this. I thought he was a really cool, chill guy, and I didn't even introduce them thinking that they would actually, like, something, like, they would actually, like, become, like, you know, be romantically involved. I was like, you know, he seems like a cool guy. This guy's older than my mom, so he's old. So, like, and my friend's older too, but not that old. So anyways, I think they have like a 13, 14-year age difference, which is fine, whatever, right? I guess it works. But that's beside the point. And so when they got married, I was like really surprised, but I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? Maybe this can work. So, and then when the marriage actually fell apart, I was like even more surprised. I was like, oh my God, what happened? Because she was like head over heels for this guy, and like she was at the tail end of her first marriage, so it was a no marriage, and then, you know, she got a divorce, and then they got married, and it didn't last very long. It just lasted about 3 months, and afterwards, and I didn't know this, like, everything that happened in our marriage until much later, until the marriage ended, because she didn't share it with me. And this is, you know, a lot of my girlfriends don't tell me about their relationships till they, you know, burn and crash, and it's awful, and they're eating like lots of ice cream or something. But it's all good. Everyone, you know, like, crashes their car sometimes in life, and it's all good. So like her marriage, like second marriage ended, and it didn't end well either. So I mean, needless to say, it was a volatile relationship beginning to end. So I mean, it is what it is, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think she's still at peace with it. And I think that's the reason why, like one thing has led to another in her life. So like she had this really, like, she was head over heels for this guy, and she thought it was gonna be amazing, and he turned out to be an alcoholic, and he was using, like, he didn't really work a lot, and then like she paid for his drinking money, and then like she was hoping and praying to the gods that like he would just miraculously change, and he didn't. And yeah, big surprise there, right? Like, the business of changing people is a tough business. But like, he was like, I remember her telling me, like, he was just like, he was drunk every day, other than like, she said like maybe on Fridays he wouldn't be drunk because, like, I guess he was Muslim, and Friday's their holy day, and they don't, so he wanted to like pray on Friday, so like he wouldn't drink. But I think he did drink Friday night too, so he was pretty much drunk all the time. And, you know, she dealt with it. And after that, I told her, I was like, you don't have to deal with it. You could have been like, F off. Like, we're done. I don't gotta deal with this shit. I don't have to pay for your drinking and deal with your verbal abuse and have you push me around and have you treat me like shit. He even told her, like, you have a borderline personality disorder. And this girl's really smart. Like, woman is really, really smart. Like, you know, like a scholar smart, you know, like those Princeton scholars, that type of smart. Yeah. And yes, she thinks she's smarter than you, but she's really sweet too at the same time. But yes, she thinks she's smarter than most people in the world. But it's all good, whatever, right? Everyone has their quirks. So And that's how scholars are. This is a scholar thing, right? They have to be smarter than everyone else. So, and her grammar is really good too, just so you know. So, and this guy that she was married to, he like, I don't know if he ever finished high school, right? He was like a hairstylist, like celebrity level hairstylist out in like Beverly Hills, California, or Hollywood, wherever, right? So, but he left that lifestyle, and then like he made some like dramatic changes in his life, but like clearly like the drinking and the smoking of marijuana, you know, he kept that baggage with him, like the excessive drinking. So, and I told her, I'm like, you don't have to deal with them. Like, you could have walked away from this. And you know, and she chose not to because she was in a needy relationship and she needed like a male to like sanctify her and a male to like make her feel worthy, because she feels like she's like a broken person, right? Or like, you know, a third of a person, and like God needs to fill in a third, and then, you know, and to sanctify her, and the remaining third is like a male, right? Like a romantic male partner needs to fill in her. So she's just like a third of a living person. And I've tried to tell her this, and she doesn't get it. And then, you know, it's like live and let live. Like, you cannot change other people because your world is in your head. So you have to slowly start changing your thoughts. So this marriage ended in an explosion. And she was like heartbroken and sad, and which is fine. There's nothing wrong with being, you know, feel like you were let down, and like, and then being angry, and then even being resentful, and then even like being like revengeful, and then keep moving up the emotional scale, right? And then you get to a place of disappointment. But then she stopped there. Like, she didn't move past those. Like, she never truly came to peace with it. So what happened was all this baggage, this energy from her failed first relationship ended, and she's at peace with it. With the second one, she's not at peace with it. This baggage, this energy starts seeping into other areas of her life. So like, we'll be talking, like, and she's not in my life right now, and like, we were talking, she's like, yeah, I want to live my life, I want to travel, I want to have adventure, I want to try different foods, I want to cook, I want to go out with my girlfriends. But then she would just talk about it. She would never actually do anything, you know? I'd be like, oh, okay, the weather's really nice, at least go on a walk. And she'll go on a walk, but that's about it, right? So, and then she'll tell me again, she's like, yeah, I really want to, she's working on a book, and she's like, I really want to work on a book, I'm really excited about it, I have all these references, I even know what I want to write about. And she's like more than halfway done with this book, and I'm like, finish it. 2 years later, we're like at the same spot, and then she's like, I really want my life to start, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere, I want to have adventure, I want to meet with my girlfriends, I want to go out, I want to try different foods. Are we seeing a cycle? Are you picking up on the broken tape recorder, or the tape recorder that's on repeat, right? So what's basically happening is like, we're using a relationship, like a failed relationship, not coming to peace with it, and using that energy as an excuse to not move forward, right? Because she looks around in her life and she's like, wow, I fucked up. And she looks around, and then, you know, like, since she's a broken person, she's a third of a person. So, like, you know, God's in the mix, or her version of God is in the mix. And she looks at it and she's like, wow, this is not what God wants for me, you know? So not only it's like the God thing is in there, and she's like, and then she does it. Then the remaining third is the man, and he's not there to like fulfill her and to complete her heart, right? Complete her. So she looks in her life and she's like, I fucked up, and she's like, I'm a mess. And you know, one time she told me, she's like, I feel like I should just cut my losses and just that's it, just sit down and cut my losses. And that's exactly what she did. She cut her losses, and she was like, I suck at life, I fucked up, I couldn't have fucked up even more, I fucked up in all areas of my life, I'm just a failure, and she's like, I thought I was smart, and I don't even feel like I'm smart. I'm just a failure. I'm a failure. I look around me, I'm a failure. I'm just a string of failures, a string of broken messes. And I'm like, own your shit, honey. It's okay. Everyone fucks up. You know what the difference is? People just don't talk about it. People just act like they don't mess up. They act like their life is perfect. Or the other people that actually do own their shit, and they do talk about it. We have a lot, like, they inspire others, right? They inspire others to fly even higher, to be like, wow, maybe that person could do that. I can do it too, you know? So I remember when I was young, like Tony Hawk was really big. It was so cool to see him do the tricks he did on his skateboard. Like it was inspiring to me. And not that I ever like got into skateboarding, but it was just cool to watch it. Be like, wow, you're inspiring me to new heights. I mountain bike, and like it's so much fun. So, and what I have to say, like if your life is a broken mess, and it's only your viewpoint, right? This is how you're seeing your life, how you're interpreting the data in your life, and calling it a broken mess or seeing yourself as a failure is a conclusion you are making. That like is really important for us to consciously acknowledge the conclusions we ourselves are making. So you're saying, this is the data in my life, I have assessed it, I'm a failure on all aspects of my life, I'm a broken mess, and I'm not smart, I can't do anything. And you're using that as an excuse to literally put your life, like that, your life is a car, and you're putting it in park. And you're sitting there and you're looking at everyone and the world moving around you, and you're like, wow, I want to go try that. I want to do this. I want to meet with my friends. But your car is in park. You're not even putting it in drive. You're not even putting it in reverse. You're not even getting ready to shift your car because you're too afraid of what might happen. You're embarrassed of your own conclusions that your life is a failure. You're scared of what other people might say or other people's judgments. And most of all, you see yourself as a broken person, you know? And so then you're not going to move your car. And what I have to say is, take your mess, put it in your car, and start moving. Start moving in the direction of your desires, in the direction that gives you relief, in the direction that feels good. And there is no one who does not know what they want. If you know what you want, you might not want to admit it to yourself because you've been disappointed so many times in your life, but you know what you want. And start moving towards it. Start moving towards relief. At least move towards a place of feeling good, right? A place of like, wow, it feels, just to breathe, right? And so when I started aviation, I ended up at this flying club, and I was so excited. I was like, I'm going to learn to fly. And I did. And I didn't know, these planes were so old. They were broken planes. I didn't know they were broken planes until like the tail end of my aviation, of my license. And they're so broken. Like one time when I was just practicing maneuver solo flights, my radio went out. Like I didn't have a radio, and I had to fly to a towered airport. And you cannot fly to a towered airport without communicating with ATC. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in a broken plane and my radio isn't working. What do I do? So I was like, it's okay. I know what to do. I'm a really good pilot. I know I have options. I can fly to that untowered airport. I can land over there, and I can call my club and be like, I'm stuck. I don't have a radio in my plane. I can't communicate with anyone. I'm so angry and upset at the same time. But if that had happened to me in the beginning of my aviation career, I would have lost my gourd. I would have lost so many gourds. I don't even know what I would have done. But it's okay, because you have to accept where you're at. You'll be like, yes, I'm in a broken plane. It's all good. But you know what? I'm a really good pilot. I'm going to start making different decisions. I know I have options in life. I can maneuver my plane. I can land it at a different airport. I know how to read a chart, an aviation VFR chart. I got that shit. You know, so you have to start nudging yourself in the direction of what you want. If you're going to decide to wait for life to happen to you, it's not going to happen. Like, you're just going to sit there forever. And that's okay. And my friend, for I want to say over 2.5 years, she had barely moved, and her life had barely changed. Her book is exactly where she left it. You know, maybe she wrote a paragraph, and she has no relationship, no man in her life. I think her friend circle is even smaller now, right? Yeah. And if that's what you want, if that brings you joy, amen. But I know she's not in a happy place. You can tell me whatever you want. One thing I did learn from the ghetto is you can sense how other people feel. For me, someone's like, oh, I'm happy, and I'm like, yeah, fake happy, right? It's like putting a happy face sticker, the Walmart happy face stickers, the yellow ones, and just putting it on your face, right? You're like, yeah, I'm happy. When you're really, no, you're not. I can tell you're not. But you can pretend like you're happy. It's not going to change anything, right? So, yeah. I really hope that this video gives you the courage to like pick up your shit, own it, and make different decisions. And start moving in the direction of what you want, no matter what. And it's okay if we fall. It's okay if you make more mistakes. That's how we learn. Why is it so bad for adults to fall? I think it's really good for children to fall, and I think it's really good for adults to fall, because that's how we learn. That's how we get our bearings. And if you don't fall, amen, even better, you know? But it's all good. Own it and move on. So I hope this helps you, and I hope all is well. Namaste.